We somehow don't have time to focus on the most important reality of all realities, and that is the reality of maut. And so we find that our pious elders have given beautiful nasiha in this regard. Hazrat Khwaja Sb Rahmatullah عليه, he was a senior disciple and a very senior personality linked to Hazrat Hakimul Ummat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanwi Rahmatullah عليه. Khwaja Sb, Khwaja Azizul Hasan Majzoob Rahmatullah عليه, great wali of Allah, and at the same time he was also a very, very accomplished poet too, and he composed beautiful poetry in which he set out some of these great realities. And I would like to recite some of these couplets of Khwaja Sb so that it can become a reminder for myself and for each and every one of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. So Khwaja Sb says here, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, ये इबरत की जा है तमाशा नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, ये इबरत की जा है तमाशा नहीं है. Beautiful couplets, a great reminder for each and every one of us that this world and the life of this world is not a place to attach our hearts. Jagah ji lagane ki dunya nahi hai. It's not a place to attach our hearts to this dunya, to this world. Why? Because really speaking, this world is a place of ibrat and lesson. It's not a circus, it's not a place of entertainment, but in actual fact it is a place of great lesson for us. So Khwaja Sb says that take lesson out of this dunya. Lessons had to be learned. Ye ibrat ki ja hai. This is a place of lessons. We ought to have learned many, many important lessons. Have we learned those lessons, or have these lessons passed by us and we just carried on? We paid no attention to these lessons. This is the thing that is of great concern. What has happened? Khwaja Sb says, Mile khak mein ahle shah kaise kaise, Mile khak mein ahle shah kaise kaise, मकी हो गए ला मका कैसे कैसे, हुए नामवर बेनिशा कैसे कैसे, हुए नामवर बेनिशा कैसे कैसे, जमी खा गई नो जवा कैसे कैसे, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, ये इबरत की जा है तमाशा नहीं है. Khwaja Sb explains what has happened, the realities, explaining briefly what are the realities here. Mile khak mein ahle shah kaise kaise. Look at how many mighty, powerful people have become part of the earth and the ground and turned into dust and soil. Where is the Makkah ho gaye la Makkah kaise kaise? People houses that were occupied and people were living in these houses. Overnight the houses became empty and the dwellers of the houses were gone and the houses became deserted. Nobody is staying in those houses anymore. Hue naamwar benisha kaise kaise. People who are known, well-known, renowned, popular, prominent, eminent personalities, people looked up to them. People have forgotten, they even lived, they existed. Everybody has forgotten, life carried on, and they don't even remember who these people were. And zami kha gaye no jawa kaise kaise. How this earth has eaten up and consumed young people Young people passed on, passed away, left this world, and the earth consumed them, ate them up. And all this is just history, it's all forgotten. You go to the Qabristan, you go to the graveyard, you take a walk from one row to the next row, from one aisle to the next aisle. You see all the qabrs there, you see the nameplates. Some places there are no nameplates to, it's all worn out. One Qabristan I went to, I tried to read, I couldn't even the nameplates that were engraved in stone. Over time, it had become so worn out that you couldn't even read that writing that was engraved in the stone. How can anybody's grave be forever and permanent? How would it even be remembered? And that's it, you go to the Qabristan, you walk through, you'll see the names of people, you didn't even recognize them, you didn't even know such people live. And those that you knew them, but you recognized them, you see that life has moved on. Whatever they own has been owned by someone else now. Whatever they possessed is possessed by someone else now. The homes they lived in, someone else moved in. And so the cycle of life carried on, and nothing stopped in the world. The world carried on functioning. Everything was still going on. Despite the absence of such people, the world carried on, the world moved on. So these lessons we learn. You go to the graveyard. I like to ask our brothers that did you ever go and see that on the gravestone, this is so and so, the owner of this industry and factory, and the owner of this mighty business, and the owner of these properties, and the owner of so much of wealth, and the owner of a big bank account, and the owner of so many, a portfolio of properties and so on. If we saw anywhere on anyone's qabr, these things were inscribed. It won't even be allowed, and people won't even do such a thing, and it's not going to happen. But it's a lesson for us to learn that none of these things are going to be remembered. And you're not going to be remembered for your wealth. You are not going to be remembered for your power, your might. You are not going to be remembered for any of these things. But yes, when we go to the qabr of some pious person, and we go there, and we see the name of so-and-so, a person who was known to be a pious man, people stop there. They say, oh, this great alim, Maulana so-and-so, Sheikh so-and-so, Hafiz Sahib so-and-so, this person used to lead us in Taraweeh, this was a Maulana who used to give us lessons and teach us in madrasa, this is the Sheikh who used to give these lectures and bayan, had changed the lives of so many people. You stop there, you recognize that person, you read, you make dua, you say, Ya Allah, through the reading of this at this person's qabr, make it a means of my forgiveness, grant me the barakat of the person of this qabr. So my dear friends, the lesson to be learnt is, let us not attach ourselves to these things, because all of this is going to stay behind. Jahan mein hai ibrat ke har su namune, jahan mein hai ibrat ke har su namune, magar tujhko anda kiya rang wo bune, kabhi gaur se bhi ye dekha hai tune, कभी गौर से भी ये देखा है तूने, जो मामूर थे वो महल अब है सोने, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, ये इबरत की जगह है तमाशा नहीं है. Khwaja Sahib explains so beautifully here, जहाँ में है इबरत के हर सो नमूने. In this world, any direction you look, you will see examples of lessons to be taken. Any direction you look, there's some example that you take, some lesson that you take, some admonition that you take from the things of the world around you. But what has happened is, magar tujhko anda kiya rango boone. But the colors and the smells and scents of this world have actually made you blind and dumb and deaf. You are so engrossed in the colors and the scents and the taste of the things of this world that it preoccupied you. Your whole heart and soul was in all of these things, and you became blinded to realities, the absolute realities, the unescapable realities of the world. like the hereafter, the life after this world, the advent of death, you became heedless with regard to these things. And what happened? That now you lost the plot, as they say. And kabhi ghaur se bhi ye dekha hai tune? Did you ever look carefully? Jo maamur the wo mahal ab hai sune. Didn't you look at those houses that were palatial, big houses? Whole families were staying in there. Wealthy, mighty people were staying in there. And now suddenly the house is empty. The doors are locked. There's nobody living there. It's like an empty house, becomes like a haunted house. Not a person, not a soul. That was a house, and there was so much of laughter, and so much of conversation, and so much of discussion, and so much of meetings, and people, and children, and family, and relatives, and everybody in and out. And suddenly, this house is now gone empty, and there's nobody there, and the house is gone, what we would say, is gone completely forlorn. So these are the things that we should be pondering and thinking about. Yaha har khushi hai mubaddal basad gham, yaha har khushi hai mubaddal basad gham, jahan shadiyan thi wahi hai ab matam. ये सब हर तरफ इनकिलाबात आलम, ये सब हर तरफ इनकिलाबात आलम, तेरी जात ही में तगय्युर है हर दम, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, ये इबरत की जा है तमाशा नहीं है. How well said here. यहाँ हर खुशी है मुबद्दल बसद गम. Every happiness of this world, every happiness of this world shall be transformed into 1,000 sadnesses and sorrows. You may be happy for a moment, but it is going to be followed by 1,000 moments of sadness and sorrow. This is the reality of the life of this world. And where at one time there were weddings and people were happy and celebrating and all excited about the wedding and all the functions and everything happening, then there is also that the sound of crying and wailing on the death of somebody in that very same home, in that same family. So whilst we are enjoying the happiness of the wedding, don't forget a day is going to come when there will be the sadness of the wailing and the crying of somebody who passed away in that very same home, in that same family. Therefore, it has been said very beautifully that do not become heedless of what is coming in front. Don't be caught up in what's happening in the moment. If you're caught up in what's happening in the moment, you're not going to be ready for what's coming after that. So therefore, Khwaja Sahib says this here, that where the happiness of wedding is going to be replaced by the sadness of the funerals. यहाँ सब हर तरफ इनकिलाबात आलम, यहाँ सब हर तरफ इनकिलाबात आलम, तेरी जात ही में तगय्युर है हर दम. And all sides that we see, every direction that we look, what do we see? We see that there is so much of changes happening in the world around us. All over. Changes upon changes upon changes. Nothing remains the same. So and so was the president yesterday. Tomorrow there's a new president of the country. So and so was a minister yesterday. Tomorrow there's a new minister. So and so was the wealthy businessman of yesterday. Tomorrow somebody else became the business owner. And that is the inqilabat-e-alam. We see the changes in the world. All the time, day and night, we are seeing changes in the world. That is a reminder to us that this world is inevitably a place of change. There is nothing that is permanent. Everything is temporary in this world. And he says that leave alone everything else. तेरी जात ही में तगय्युर है हर दम. Leave, forget about everything outside, what's happening. Look at your own body, your own self. Look at the changes and transformation that happens to your own body. Overnight, how things start changing, and over the years, how things start changing. Yesterday you were healthy, fit, strong, energetic, stamina. You had everything. Now, as the age progresses, now you become weak, you become ill, you got this chronic condition, you got that condition, your body is experiencing pain, your vision is becoming weak, your sight is gone weak, your hearing is getting affected, your memory is gone so weak. Leave alone old people, youngsters today can't even remember half the things you tell them. Your vision becomes weak, your eyesight becomes weak, your hearing becomes weak, your digestion gets weak. You can't even now eat in the evening too much because you're going to get reflux and you're going to get acid and you won't be able to sleep at night. That is the changes that happen in your own body. What are those changes giving you a message? Is giving you a message. Your hair is also turning grey, and from grey it's turning white, and your body, your back is also starting to bend, and your posture you can't keep upright anymore, and you're struggling now. Your knees are creaking, and your joints are aching, and all of this, what is this? It's a reminder that your own body is going through so much of transformation and changes, and eventually the broad body is also going to break down, and the only place left for it eventually will be the Qabristan. So these are some of the beautiful couplets of Khwaja Sb, Rahmatullah alayhi. यही तुझको धुन है रहू सबसे बाला, यही तुझको धुन है रहू सबसे बाला, हो जीनत निराली हो फैशन निराला, जगह जिया करते हैं क्या यूं ही मरने वाला, जिया करता है क्या यूं ही मरने वाला, तुझे हुस्न ज़ाहिर ने धोखा में डाला, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, जगह जी लगाने की दुनिया नहीं है, ये इबरत की जाए तमाशा नहीं है, ये तुझको धुन है रहू सबसे बाला, हो जीनत निराली हो फैशन निराला. What is your outlook in life? Your outlook in life is so materialistic, and you are so caught up with the material things of this world that what is your outlook in life? Whole time your mind is only spinning around these things, that how I can adorn myself. The men want to go to the gym, and I need to build my muscles, and I need to look macho and muscular, and I need to take my steroids and pump irons, and I must have the look, and then you worried about your dressing, your fashion. You must be there in tune with what kind of fashion is prevalent, and you want to be up to date with regards to everything. That is the whole purpose. Your mind is only spinning around those things, and the main aspects and realities of life we've completely forgotten, and we have become heedless about, to such an extent that Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah in one of his kitab has mentioned that the angels speak amongst themselves in astonishment about certain servants of Allah Ta'ala. They say, look at him, he's going shop to shop to look for the best suits and ties and suit and boot and all of these things to dress up, but already the order and instruction has been given for his kafan to get ready. He should be going to buy his kafan in the shops rather than buying the suits and all of that, because the instruction has already been given for him to be taken away from this world. What is all these suits going to help him that he's buying? He should rather be buying his kafan. So that is the reality. And Khwaja Sb says, Jiya karte hai kya yu hi marne wala. The person who's going to be dying, and leaving this world, does he live his life like this in the world? Tujhe husn zahir mein dhoka mein dala. The outward adornment of things in this world has put you into absolute deception. You have become deceived by the things of this world, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to the Quran in the Quran. وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. The things of this world is a showcase of deception. Is a showcase of deception. We get deceived by the things of this world. A person got completely deceived. His mind was somewhere. He's not thinking about the realities that he's going to have to face. Dunya is a showcase. What showcase? A showcase of deception. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take us out from this ghaflat and the showcase of deception and open up the realities to us.